legendary Rick Steiner. This is awesome, man. Welcome to South Florida.
Thank you.
This is great. You know, I got to ask you about college, man. University of Michigan.
Yeah.
Go Blue.
Good time.
What was that like for you in making the decision? You were a standout amateur wrestler and making the decision, okay, I'm going to Michigan.
Well, you know, my brother was also, in the
Hey folks, I'm WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and if you want to find out some of my ideas and what I think about pro wrestling, check out Great North Wrestling. Tough guy, ho!
So I'll just get right into it. When you were in high school, you won the New York State Wrestling Championships. You want to just tell us about that?
Well, thanks, brother, but you know the first thing Hacksaw's got to do is give a big ho! Kind of fires me up, gets me going. But yeah, I actually had a nice high school career in Glens Falls High up in upstate New York, where I won the New York State Amateur Wrestling Championship my senior year. I was undefeated, and actually the guy that I beat from Tonawanda went on to win the Pan Am Games that year. My shot put record still stands from 1973, and football was my main sport, so I had a nice high school career.
Where did you play football in college?
I played my college football for Southern Methodist University down in Dallas, Texas, and that actually worked out really well because that's where I met Fritz von Erich and opened the door to wrestling.
And before you went into wrestling, you had a little bit of a pro football career. Do you want to just tell us about that?
Sure, yeah. That's my main drive when I was a young guy, was to play pro football, you know. And after my 4 years at SMU, I went to the Atlanta Falcons. I got hurt during my first season, had 2 knee surgeries. My second year pro ball, I went up to the Toronto Argonauts and played a short time for the Argos when Forrest Gregg was the head coach, and enjoyed football quite a bit, but I knew I had no long-term future in football, so I made the move to professional wrestling.
So you already had contacts with Fritz von Erich through your college days?
Yeah, just on a fluke meeting, you know, he came up to me and said, "Kid, you might want to think about wrestling." And I was like, I think I'll be playing football for a while. But yeah, I called Fritz back up when I realized there was no future in football for me, and he brought me down to the Sportatorium. Gary Hart gave me my first pair of trunks, and I worked with Gino Hernandez quite a bit, and that's where I broke into the business.
So was it Fritz that trained you or hooked you up with the training? Or?
Well, Fritz kind of hooked me up with the trainer. We'd always go down to the Sportatorium. David Manning was the referee, and of course the Von Erich boys were down there, and I'd learn how to hit the ropes and take a bump, and it was just very basic moves. And as a young guy, you always bring your gear with you. And one night I was at a show, somebody didn't make it. They're like, "Kid, you got your gear?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I sure do." So they went out and grabbed me, and they put me in a tag match, and I was off and running.